I started working with Brower. I worked with Brower for first for 2 years at Electric Lady, and then Michael was deciding he had been there for 9 years, and he decided it was time to move on, and he moved out of Electric Lady because at that point we were fully analog, so we were running like an 80 channel SSL console, huge stack of gear. So with the evolving with the times, he decided to go hybrid. So he still kept his gear, but he decided to stop
Very interesting.
mixing in the console. So we moved. He was like, I'm moving to like a private room, basically my own place, and he wanted to take me with him. And at that point, I have been in his team for 2 years, and as much as I loved Electric Lady, that was my pathway to becoming a mixer. So I went with him. We moved out of Electric Lady. We went to this private studio probably for a couple of years, and then the pandemic hit, and then we were forced to go to lockdown. But that sort of showed him a forced adaptation of the benefits of working in the box.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, that was basically a few months of him adapting to like a fully in the box workflow with me helping him out, setting this big template that sort of mimic like what he had going on in the hardware world. Eventually, he got very comfortable, and then sort of when like the pandemic started, like getting better, we had a conversation, and we just decided it made sense to commit to what we were doing. So he gave up the lease on the new studio. He sold like three-quarters of his gear, and he had set up his studio in the basement of his house. And he was like, "I'm just gonna like this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just fully commit to this." And at that point, I had moved out of New York City, just across the river. We moved to Fort Lee, New Jersey, which happens to be like literally like a 3-minute drive from Sterling Sound.
Yeah.
So my wife can go to work every day. And I moved out of a little apartment, and we moved into a house, and I also built my mixing setup in my basement, and we were working remotely. And I still work with Michael to this day in a different capacity. We co-mix Dolby Atmos projects together. So I've been with him for like over 7 years, so we have like a very like close relationship. So when Dolby Atmos came around, we decided to partner up, and we co-mix Dolby Atmos projects together. And in parallel, for the last few years, I had been building my mixing career parallel to me working with Michael. And, thankfully I started getting like busier and busier and getting more clients. So sort of reached the point where I was like, I need to step out from working with Michael full time. So we started finding a replacement for me, somebody I could train. I won't get into details, but we had some bad luck. Like, a lot of people who just we would train and then they just didn't make the cut, and they would
Yeah.
like drop out, and then it was like start again, a new person, blah blah. But we have a new assistant who's been with us for like half a year now. So she's basically taken over like all the assistant engineer duties for Michael. And I'm still around. I help out here and there when they need me with like more experience stuff. And I'm currently mixing an album in ad mode with Michael. But yeah, like I had been building my mixing career on the side. So when I sort of like stopped having as much responsibilities on Michael's operation, it allowed me to like put in more of my time and my focus into building my own thing. And that's what I've been doing. I have a new manager. Shout out to Liz.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
she's she's hel- she's helping me, build my whole operation and everything. So that's where I'm
I love it.
at in 2023.